Hi, Sarge. What's up?
How did you know it was me? No, don't tell me. Let me guess. Listen, you, I want you over here right away so you can tell the chief exactly what you've been telling me about all that superpower stuff. You got it? And you got 5 minutes to get here. You understand?
5 minutes, Sergeant. He lives on the other side of town.
Reporting for duty, sir.
You see that, Chief? You see that? Those are the cute little tricks I gotta put up with every single day. Well, I've had it. I've had it right up to here.
Oh, that was good thinking, Sergeant. Sending him across the glaze to creep down on the very day NASA's having the top secret experiments out there. Oh, that's really smart.
Explosion of red plutonium will bombard the Earth's surface with a barrage of harmless red Amiga rays.
Hey, it's really peaceful out here.
You're gonna get yourself killed! If a man gets caught in the middle of an atomic blast, the least he can do is drop dead.
Ever since I went to Creektown and got caught in that explosion, something happened inside me. The plutonic explosion caused a blinding red light that gave me the superpowers. But the same color red also takes them away whenever I see it. Two forces equal but opposite equals zero.
You want me to believe that?
Now tell me you don't believe he has superpowers.
There's illegal gambling going on in that truck.
Get your hands up there!
Chief, you must be awfully proud of these men.
Those two cops are getting too big for their britches.
You stick with me. We're gonna go places.
Boss, he wants to be a cop.
What cop?
He's a super snooper, really super trooper. A wonder cop, a one like you never saw. He's a super snooper, really super trooper. A wonder cop, on the side of the law.
You're under arrest for the first-degree murder of Police Sergeant William Dunlap.
He's a super snooper, really super trooper. A wonder cop, a one like you never saw. He's a super snooper, really super trooper. He's a super snooper, really super trooper. A wonder cop, a one like you never saw. He's a super snooper, really super trooper. A wonder cop, on the side of the law.
Point in a man's life when he's got to face some facts. And one fact I got to face is that whatever it is that women like, I ain't got it. I chased after enough girls in my life. I went to enough dances. I got hurt enough. I don't want to get hurt no more. I just called up a girl this afternoon. I got a real brush off, boy. I figured I was past the point of being hurt, but that hurt. Some stupid.
In 1955, Ernest Borgnine won the Academy Award for Best Performance by a Lead Actor for his title role in Marty. Nice little film. He was up against James Cagney, James Dean, Frank Sinatra, and Spencer Tracy. It's a pretty impressive lineup of nominees.
You know, the big hope of an actor, after such a success as Marty, is to find another story just as good.
From there on out, Borgnine has had an extremely diverse career. He's moved back and forth in a variety of genres and roles, shifting between movies and television work, playing supporting parts and lead roles, playing good guys and really evil guys. He's gone from appearing in some extremely successful films to B-level productions, working with directors who were revered and at the top of their game at the time, to taking the chance of working with up-and-coming filmmakers. Films with huge budgets to ones that barely had any money. Critically acclaimed films, cult films, classic films. I mean, when you start to look at his resume, you realize he's really had a pretty amazing and long career.
Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore.
Super Snooper.
Hey, boss.
Meanwhile, Italian actor Terence Hill was making a name for himself in a string of successful spaghetti western comedies, the most popular being They Call Me Trinity. It was sort of a comedic take on Eastwood's The Man with No Name character. Hill and his frequent co-star Bud Spencer starred together in a bunch of films, and they were an extremely popular and successful team overseas. Hollywood eventually took notice of Hill's popularity, and by the mid-70s he starred in his first U.S. films.
Starring America's newest star, Terence Hill.
But despite his popularity overseas, he didn't really catch on with audiences here. So from there, Hill would move between working in Italian and U.S. productions. Looking back on it all now, it seemed inevitable that Borgnine and Hill would eventually team up in a film together. Well, it finally happened in 1980's Super Fuzz. There's something else I have to mention regarding this film, and it's the way most audiences first saw it, at least in the US. If you hear someone talk about Super Fuzz now, the odds are pretty good that they'll mention home box office in connection with it. In the early 1980s, home box office was still in its infancy. Families started subscribing and cable boxes started popping up in neighborhoods all around the country. And everyone was all excited about the idea of being able to watch movies at home without commercials. I mean, can you imagine? HBO didn't have that much to offer in terms of programming at the beginning. It took them a while to even become a 24-hour network. They had a few things on, like stand-up specials, sporting events, comedy shows. And by the way, why don't they release this on DVD? I'd love to watch that show again. Sure, they would have some of the popular films from the period on, but it would fill up a lot of its airtime during the day with the constant rotation of cheaper kinds of movies. Smaller ones, cheesier ones. And they would show them over and over and over again. The odds were that if you turned on HBO at any point during the course of the day, you'd once again see the same goofy B-movie you just saw the day before. They would show some of these films 3, 4, 5 times a day. These reliable airings ended up giving these films more of an audience than their theatrical runs ever did. With the novel experience of being able to watch a movie in your own home, well, it was going to be the best damn movie you ever saw. Even if it was terrible and you've already sat through it a dozen times. So a lot of these movies got embraced by that early HBO audience just by their sheer persistence. This constant barrage of airplay they got led to the popular joke, what does HBO stand for? Hey, Beastmaster's on! A lot of these films probably would have long been forgotten had they not been given this continuous exposure on HBO. Its devoted subscribers and young movie lovers would sit through these flicks countless times. Not to mention the promise of seeing boobs by some of the raunchier flicks late at night. It immediately made fans out of the young adolescents who were sneaking down to the TV and were glued to the channel anytime they were on. Now after all this time, they might have forgotten the titles of these movies, but the images and scenes are burned into their subconscious. Seeing a scene or hearing a title, they'll instantly have a HBO flashback to that period from the early 1980s. These movies have become known as members of that diverse family of films that HBO used to air, all the time. And Super Fuzz was one of them.